They listen to the shit they say, make me wanna catch this case or even if they face away. But I know what them scriptures say. We gon' wait on judgment day, thinking it ain't coming, thinking the Lord bluffing, waiting on the day it's gonna be hotter than the oven. Though they treat me like a slave, wanna see me in the grave. Hate to see a nigga brave, hate to see a nigga brave. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this cracker's gon' get it no problem. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this cracker's gon' get it no problem.
Your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, my nigga, I understand. My nigga, I feel your pain. My nigga, we gotta change. This for the king, this for the king.
Yo, man, check this shit out, man. Check this out. Out there just like you out there in the street, man. The street. You know what I'm saying? That's for our people out here, man. Yeah. Waking you up from the grave, man. It's 1969. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American, Indian. Check me out, though. Dead man walking, bullet shots unguided. Same poverty, different hood, yet we divided. Bang coats like pirates, inside I'm a riot. Mind staying library, so I'ma keep quiet. I'm about to explode from the impact of this pressure. Slay fire breathing dragons as I march the desert. Walk with no sight, your faith will measure. Diamonds made from rock, now that's our body treasure. Born in oppression, forced to maintain. Yoked the iron to wrapped in them prison chains. Animal instincts when niggas is caged. Resorting to violence, here's a plate of my rage. Action without a cause, you living with no life. Killing demons while it's great so you can get right. You say you want the kingdom, you gon' have to fight. Tunnel vision, one west, Lord, I see the light. Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scarf, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change, one west, waking brothers up from the grave. Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scarf, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change, one west, waking brothers up from the grave. Been at the end of the tunnel, I could see the light. Before I had a car, bus past, then a bike. If you ready for war, let's knuckle up and fight. Who would've known a pair of black boots to save my life? Before I had a full time, I was a drug dealer. Blood on my hands, but never claimed to be a killer. Yell like a bear, stand strong like gorillas. The Lord showed me UPK, now I'm a winner. Nightmares are falling weak to them old days. Niggas rather stay lost, looking both ways. Brothers kicking so much knowledge, never question age. As I approach the mic, I'm looking through my shades. Back then, it was peak coats for the winners. Now it's trench coats with fringes. Tell me who sent you. Cut through flesh and bones with just Bible scripture. The white man's the goddamn devil. Do you need a picture? Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scarf, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change, one west, waking brothers up from the grave. Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scarf, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change, one west, waking brothers up from the grave. Hey, remember this, man. One west, one west, one west. Hey, remember this, man. One west, one west, one west. Hey. Under Commander General Yohana, you understand? We out to bring nothing but the truth. All you perpetrators out there, man, be ready to be destroyed out there, man. We out here standing for our people. One West, man, 1969. ISUPK. No cowards, no excuses.
Or you want the one from Deuteronomy, thou shalt know any wise set him king over them. That's Deuteronomy 17 and 15.
There's nothing I can say to make you believe. Yeah. Man, ain't nothing I can say. It's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. What if I told you that I was the son of God? Would that be easy to believe, or would you make it hard? And I finally learned the difference between wise and smart. When I say we bless people, they say times is hard. And all I can tell them is they ain't never lied. Reincarnated, I'm back like I ain't never died. Man, I won't say it if it can't be verified. Niggas say they soldiers, when war starts, they terrified. I'm about to let it ride, bringing back the pride of black skin, cause they ain't got a clue what's happening. And we still being punished from back then. How we gon' make a change when we too busy adapting? Buckle your seatbelts, make sure you strapped in. They showed us the trap, so now my people trapped in. Cause everything we wanted to be, they said we couldn't be it. I told them we was chosen people, they just couldn't see it. Yeah. And it ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to make them believe. To make you believe. Keep hearing footsteps in the dark, and my dogs gon' bite while the rest of y'all barking. Moving at the speed of light while y'all parking in that water with sharks. I ain't scared, I'm a dolphin. It ain't no talking, boy, we all action. Trying to build a nation, but them hoes is distracting. With that twerking on the pole in the back bins. Put on some clothes, set some goals, we can rap then. And we ain't never been the same since the crack came. Selling poison just to give it to the Jack name. They promote the lifestyle through the rap game. Flood the hood with it, then tell you it's a black thing. They really need God, but they call idols. How these gents 14 with assault rifles? They waiting for better days. Now can I paraphrase? Niggas will kill their own brother for a pair of J's. And it ain't nothing I can say. It's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. Let me say it anyway.
All right, let's clap it up. Once again, Monday night is history night. We're going to get into a little bit of history. You understand? The Most High gives us history so we can look back on our past and figure out what we've done in the past, figure out all of our mistakes and not make the same mistakes. Well, that's what the Bible is about. The Bible is a history book. The Bible tells our history. The Bible tells who we are, you understand? And a lot of us don't understand that we are the descendants of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. The Bible also identifies us as the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the true Jews that this Bible talks about. And with that, I want to say we're the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and that truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true Jews of the Bible, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, the title of this class is From the Civil War to Civil Rights, What has changed? And that's the question that we're asking tonight. From the Civil War, from the time that we were emancipated, going all the way up to the Civil Rights Movement of the 50s and the 60s. What has changed with our people? You understand that we're going to take a real good look. You understand? Because we try to please or appease our oppressor. And in appeasing or trying to appease our oppressor, we have been constantly ground into powder. Our people have continually been destroyed. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, when are we going to wake up and understand that this oppressor does not like us? This oppressor does not have good intentions for us. And let's go back. We're going to go back to the Civil War. And right here, I have an article speaking about the Civil War. You understand? And we're going to see the struggles through the Civil War and all the way up into Civil Rights Movement. So with that,
This article is Black Troops in Union Blue. You understand? And beginning at the top of this article, says nearly 180,000 free black men and escaped slaves served in the Union Army during the Civil War, but at first they were denied the right to fight by a prejudiced public and a reluctant government. Even after they eventually entered the Union ranks, black soldiers continued to struggle for equal treatment. Now we got to understand something, you know, this world has never been created to be equal. No people on this earth are created equal. The Most High created everybody in the way that He wanted everybody to be created. Now, let's get it straight. The Most High created this earth and this world for our sake. You understand? But through sin, through being in iniquity with the Most High, we have given our place over to our oppressor. The scriptures tell us that, you know, what does it say? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You understand? That's in the scripture. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And we can see by how this earth is being run that it has been handed over to the oppressor. And the oppressor is totally destroying this earth. You understand? All right. And with that, it says place in racially segregated infantry, artillery, and cavalry regiments. These troops were almost always led by white officers. And that's the problem with us today. You understand? We always start a group, but the groups are always being led by the oppressor. You understand? Going all the way from the Civil War, as you can see, all the way up through the Civil Rights Movement. Whatever group was started by us always ends up being led by the oppressor. All right? It says now, the second part of this article, we are ready and would go. This was a phrase stated by Frederick Douglass, a brother who was an escaped slave that became an abolitionist during the Civil War. Let's read this article. As soon as the Civil War began, free black men in the North wanted to fight for the Union cause. Frederick Douglass, who escaped slavery to become a famous abolitionist leader, stated, "We are ready and will go." But the prejudice against black people, both free and slave, was strong and weak in the North as well as in the South. Most white Americans at this time thought of black adults as children lacking in mental ability and discipline. Slavery had stripped black men of their manhood. And this is what this society is doing to us today. It's stripping us of our manhood. And we have to understand, and just like I said, we have to look back at history. History has a way of repeating itself. You understand what I'm saying? And we have to look back at history so that we don't go and make the same mistakes twice. Alright? Alright, so here we go. So the thinking went making them dependent and irresponsible. These stereotypes led most whites to assume that a black man could never be trained to fight like a white soldier. And we know that is the furthest thing from the truth. You understand? We have exceeded them well beyond. You understand? Let's read. And I want to skip down a little bit too, because a lot of this is not. Here we go, right here. Now this paragraph right here is proving themselves. And that's the problem with us today. We always set out to prove ourselves, like we have something to prove to the oppressor. We have nothing to prove to the oppressor. What we have to do is we have to prove ourselves to the Most High. You understand? And proving ourselves to the Most High is coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And this is the reason why every time we had an uprising, those uprisings failed, because we never included the Most High in what we were to do. We never followed instructions of the Most High. had we been following those instructions of the Most High, we'd already be out of this captivity. Let's read. In May and June 1863, black and white Union regiments fought for the first time in major battles in Port Hudson and Milliken Bend on the Mississippi River. One unit fighting was General Butler's 1st Regiment, native Louisianian Guard, led by black officers, including one 16-year-old lieutenant who was killed in action. Some of the white officers expressed surprise at how fiercely the black troops fought, but the black soldiers were fighting for much more than restoring the Union. They were fighting to liberate their people, and that's what we always been fighting. We have always been fighting to liberate our people. And with that, I want to skip down to this paragraph right here. Despite their proven record as effective, courageous combat troops, African American men still faced a long struggle for equal treatment. During the Civil War, black troops were often assigned tough, dirty jobs like digging trenches. Black regiments were commonly used inferior equipment and were sometimes given inadequate medical treatment in racially segregated hospitals. African American troops were paid less than white soldiers, which has always been the case. We have to understand that these people will never look at us as an equal, no matter how much begging we do, no matter how much forcing ourselves on them. This will never happen. And with that, I want to grab a scripture. I want to grab Micah chapter 2, verse 10. All right, Micah chapter 2, verse 10.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is populated, it is polluted, Salakia. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
It says, arise ye. That means to get up, to be alert. Understand what's going on around us. You understand? Most of the time when we go into the situations that we go into, we are never alert or on point about the people that we are dealing with. This is what happens to us all the time. The Most High tells us to arise ye, alert yourself, be alert, be on the look. You understand? You have to be alert of the things that's going on around you. Read on. And depart. We have to move away. When it says to depart, it doesn't mean to pick up and move to another country or a different land or anything like that. It means to take yourself out of this culture. Take yourself out of the customs. You understand? We have to remove ourselves from what America does. We have to remove ourselves from the things that America does, their customs and culture. We have to remove ourselves from that homosexuality. We have to remove ourselves from murder. You understand? We sit around and we murder our own. You understand? Because we've been indoctrinated into the customs and cultures of America. Every time we get around, we get into what am I saying? Every time we get into a situation with our oppressor, we begin to take on the characteristics of our oppressor. You understand? Homosexuality has never been a custom and culture of ours. Murder has never been a custom and culture of ours. That is of the oppressor. You understand? The situation that we find ourselves in constantly has never been a situation that our people have been in. These are the customs and culture of our oppressor. You understand? For this is not your rest. And a lot of us, we get comfortable in our situation. We get comfortable in our poverty. We get comfortable in our misery. You understand? These are the situations that our oppressor places us in. You You understand? But it says this is not our rest. Being in America and living under these customs and culture are not our rest. And this is the problem with our people. Just like the scripture said, we getting comfortable. You understand? And we getting comfortable with doing everything that they do. You understand? Because it is polluted. You understand? All of these things, everything about this country is polluted. There is nothing good about America. You understand? But because we have been coming up under our oppressor, we look at it as if it is good. So we begin to do the things that the oppressor does. You understand? But we have to change our ways. You understand? It tells us, the scriptures tell us to separate from them. You understand? We gotta bring ourselves up. We gotta come back to what the Most High is telling us to do. You understand? Listen, it says it shall destroy you, and that's what's happening to our people today. We being destroyed by everything that is America. You understand? America is about shrimp, crab, and lobster. America is about pork. America is about homosexuality. America is about robbery, rape, and murder. This is their customs and culture. You understand? But the Most High tells us to come from among them. And that's what we have to do. You understand? So, you can drop that. I'm going to go back to this article. Some black units, such as the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, refuse to accept any pay as long as the rate remained unequal. The Lincoln administration and Congress dragged their feet on this matter until they finally established equal pay near the war's end. But see, by the time the war's end was coming, you understand, they still accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, getting the most work without giving away the most benefit. You understand what I'm saying? So this really didn't make a difference to them or not, because they still got what they set out to accomplish. A lot of work for nothing. You understand? And a lot of our brothers and sisters died in the Civil War. You understand? A lot of them died in the Civil War. And the Most High tells us that we are not to engage in the customs and culture of America. So when you step into a war, or you invite yourself into a war between two oppressors, you're inviting yourself into the customs and culture of the oppressor. They should have just let those devils fight it out and let them kill each other. They probably could have took the land easier. They would have let them kill each other off. You understand? But instead, we always gotta prove ourselves. And this is how we constantly destroy our own selves, by trying to prove ourselves to a people who could care less. You understand? The person that the one that we should be proving ourselves to is the Most High, and following the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Let's we drop that, right? Drop that, and let's go to Jeremiah. Before we do that, before we do that, let me grab this other article. Same this article right here. Like I said, the thing is, like I said, from the Civil War all the way to the Civil Rights Movement, what have our people accomplished? We have accomplished nothing. You understand? Because we're trying to prove ourselves in the Civil War, and we're trying to prove ourselves asking for civil rights. But how can you get any kind of civil rights from a people who are not civil? You understand? How can you ask for civil rights from a beast? That's like being in the clutches of a lion and asking him not to eat you when he's 1,000 days hungry. You understand? We gotta understand that we are not to prove anything or get anything or ask for anything from these people. But if we come together as one under the Most High, then we will come up out of this. Now, this is the Civil Rights Movement. Got this on. Civil Rights Movement was a struggle for social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and the 60s for black Americans to gain equal rights under the law in the United States. And here we go again, speaking about being equal, looking for equality. When you can't look for equality from a people who looks down on you. You understand what I'm saying? What people will want to be equal to you if they are looking down on you? That just does not happen. You understand? It said the Civil War had officially abolished slavery, but the Civil War didn't abolish slavery because they had the 13th Amendment to back up that so-called Emancipation Proclamation. You understand? To make sure that they could unjustly lock you up by putting false crimes on you and force you back into slavery, or force us back into slavery. You understand? We have to understand that our oppressor has never had good intentions for us. You understand? He has never had good intentions for us. And one thing that we keep doing is we keep trusting in a people who are not trustworthy. You understand? And I wanted to grab that Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10.
12 and 10.
Come, sir.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
That's it right there. That's the problem right there. We keep trusting in our enemy. The Bible tells us, never trust thine enemy. And time after time, and time has proven, we have always put our trust in our enemy. The Native Indians put their trust in our enemy. You understand? And look what happened. Our enemy stole all the Native Indian land. You understand? We continually put trust in our enemy by going out and voting. We think that voting is going to help us. Voting only determines who's going to be our slave master for those next 4 or 2 to 4 years. You understand? Voting has never helped us, but we continually trust in our enemy. You understand? Our enemy sent out, what's that? Ice, what do they call it? That got our brothers and sisters locked up on the border. That's the ice. Ice. You understand? Locked our brothers and sisters up in cages. You understand? And this is what trust gets us. You understand? We keep trusting in a people who are not trustworthy. You understand? We gotta understand that we gotta come back to the Most High. We gotta trust in these laws, statutes, and commandments. These laws, statutes, and commandments tell us exactly how to deal with our enemy. How to deal with our enemy, how to do business with them, what to do in the presence of them. You understand? It says, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Listen, eventually, no matter how sweet his words sound, no matter how good he sounds to us, eventually his evilness is going to show through. You understand? Just as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. No matter how shiny that steel looks, eventually that steel is going to rust up. And it's the same thing with his personality, with his character. His true character is eventually going to show through, just as iron rusted. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Basically, what that's saying is that no matter how good he looks, and no matter how well he sounds, eventually his true character is going to show through. Just like wiping away a looking glass and clearing it up and really seeing what the picture truly is, that's how his character shows through. Eventually, most of the time, we don't recognize his character until after we are destroyed. You understand? After we have been ground into power. But we have to start looking at him and wiping that looking glass away early. We have to understand that his intentions have never been good for us. You understand? He survives off of our destruction. You understand? We got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we got to do what we have to do so that his kingdom is coming to an end. Look at the things that's going on around us right now. His kingdom is coming to an end. You understand? But we keep trusting in him. The civil rights movement was a bust. You understand? That civil rights movement was a terrible thing. You understand? And it lulled our people back to sleep. And this is the reason why we continually are being destroyed. Read on.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith.
Listen, don't bring him along. Don't include him in the things that we have planned for our people. Because when we include him in the plans that we have for our people, his whole mentality is to take over that and be the head. You understand? Just like with the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement, you got Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph, John Lewis, and all those other big six. And at the top of that movement, they had 4 oppressors. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever we start a movement, we always have to include our oppressor. And including our oppressor, we become destroyed because our oppressor's intention is to take over that movement and to get out of that movement where he can get out of that movement. That's just like the what's that movement now they got, the Black Lives Matter movement. You understand? The Black Lives Matter movement, what has that done for our people but destroyed us? Black Lives Matter. They got LGBTQ, look like they over top of that. Then over top of the LGBTQ is our oppressor. This is their intention, and their intention is to make black people look silly, which is what they do now. You understand? They are heading up that Black Lives Matter thing, and they are getting paid off of our people, off of the destruction of our people. Go ahead.
I just say one thing with that when it says, neither let him sit at thy right hand. Your right hand is your strong hand. So don't give him power in anything.
Right.
Because once you give him power, he's going to take control of whatever you're doing,
Right.
whether that be business, whether that be revolution, whatever that may be. And it's been proven time and time again. You named a few. There's a few more where even the Rainbow Coalition, when they allowed other races of people to come in, extensively white folks,
Right.
and they ended up taking over the movement and the agenda of it. Not only the financing, but the entire agenda.
Right.
And that's been the staple with everything.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because that was the same thing with the March on Washington. Now, the March on Washington, just like you said, the March on Washington was supposed to have been the March on the Capitol, right? That's what the brothers had started off. And when, what's the president's name? John F. Kennedy found out that the march was supposed to be on the Capitol, he got Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin, and all of those other brothers to go control that movement and change it from the March on the Capitol to the March on Washington. They were marching between 2 statues, which had no meaning. The march was supposed to be on the Capitol to get some things done, to get brothers jobs and to get equal pay. And then they changed the March on Washington, and then it was a we all love each other, we gotta come together march. So it totally extinguished what the march was originally supposed to be about, to something that didn't get us anything and didn't matter in the end. Not to mention, like we said before, it was headed by 4 oppressors, and one of them just happened to be a Jewish rabbi, to make things work, to put more salt on the wound. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, we are destroyed people. We feel like that. We feel like we have to, when we get something going or we have something big and planned, we always seem like we have to include the oppressor. And just like he said before, we give our power unto our oppressor, so that he eventually takes over and spins everything around out of control and destroys what the thing was originally supposed to be about. The power, the strong hand, the right hand is strong, the strength. We always give our strength away to our oppressor. And that's the reason why we in the position that we in today. You understand? But in 1969, a new thing arose, and that truth arose out of the earth in 1969, known as the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohanan. And we have to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments and truly serve our people. Now, this march on, go ahead, sir.
So, like, there's more.
Go ahead.
As in verse 13.
Go ahead.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
Who will pity the charmer? When you play with a beast and you get bit, that is what happens when you play with a beast. You understand? Who will pity you? Because we sit out there and we play with this beast, and once this beast snaps and we get hit, then all of a sudden we want to look to, why did this happen? This happened because we tried to charm a beast. You understand?
To join him.
To join unto him. To have him join unto us. And this is the reason why the things that we begin, that we start, and we include the oppressor in, it never works out in our favor. You understand? Because truly, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? When you play with beasts and get bit by a beast, you get what you get.
Nobody pities black people.
Nobody. What the scripture say? The scripture say, who will bemoan thee? Who will mourn for us? You understand? Who will cry for us? Who will ask us, are we okay? No other nation does that for us. You understand? We got to understand that we have to come to our own rescue under the Most High. You understand? We have to help our own people. You understand? The scriptures tell us that we should be taking care of our elderly. We should be taking care of our poor. You understand? Our money goes to other nations of people. Other nations of people come into our neighborhoods and they rape, pillage, and rob our people and take our spoils back to their communities and build themselves up. When in fact, we can take our own spoils and build our own people up. Listen, we are the motivating factor behind the United States. We are the motivating factor behind America. We are the engine that makes this place go. So how hard can it be for us to take ourselves or remove ourselves from the customs and culture of America and put our time and effort into our own people? That's what we have to do. We got to put our time into our own people. We have to put our money and resources into our own people. You understand? When we decide to stop taking or stop spending our money with all of these other nations will move out of our neighborhoods. All of these other nations will remove themselves from us. We can take over all of these places that they have and take care of our own people. Think about it, right? Of every Korean or Asian store that is in our neighborhood, how many Asians or Koreans do you see shopping at those stores? How many Arabs do you see coming into the liquor stores in our neighborhood to buy liquor? How many Asians do you see coming into the stores buying liquor or buying groceries from the stores? None. Their wealth comes from our people. So why not keep our wealth with us and put our wealth into our own people. It says, listen, it says, wherefore come out from among them. We have to remove ourselves from them and put ourselves into our own people. That's how we build a nation. That's how you build a nation under the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's how we're supposed to do. You understand? But we keep listening to these dumb preachers and pastors, all these political leaders who keep directing us in the wrong direction, who keep taking silver from the oppressor to continually put us in harm's way and get us destroyed. Think about it. Most of these black cities and towns are run by black mayors, black city councilmen, black everything. But we are the most destroyed people on the face of this earth. Why is that? Because we have leaders who are not truly leaders. You understand? Matter of fact, let's grab that Jeremiah chapter. What's that? Jeremiah 14:2. Am I right?
Jeremiah 14:2.
Yeah.
Is Judah mourneth?
Yep, that's it right there.
Come. The book of Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
You heard that? It said Judah mourneth, and our people mourn it every day. You understand? We cry out to the Most High every day. Judah mourneth because we are destroyed in these ghettos, in these barrios, and on these reservations. You understand? Judah mourneth, and when it speaks of Judah, it's speaking of the whole 12 tribes. No matter where we are on this earth, we are in mourning. You understand? Because we are being destroyed by the oppressor. Look at our people. Look at the conditions we live in. What people could survive under these conditions but a people like us? You understand? A people of strength. But we shouldn't have to prove how strong we are by living in terrible conditions. We should actually be running this earth. It says Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. What does it mean by gates? What do gates do? Gates either keep something in or keep something out. Gates are a protecting mechanism. You understand? And it says the gates thereof languish. Languish means are broken or inadequate. You understand? Who are our gates? Our gates are our political leaders. Our gates are the preachers and the pastors that tell us to go out and vote. We are destroyed because the preachers and pastors let these political leaders come into these churches and tell us to go out and vote for who's going to be our slave master in the end. You understand? It says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. We have to stop relying in political leaders and these preachers and pastors who have been bought off by the oppressor.
They don't protect us.
They don't protect us. You understand what I'm saying? They do no protecting at all. You understand? That's why it says they are languished, because they have no significance. You understand? They are destroyed. They are broken. You understand? And they are black unto the ground, and the cries of Jerusalem have gone up. You understand? The Most High is hearing our cries. We are tired of being in this condition, but we are continually in this condition because we won't come back to doing what the Most High placed us on this earth to do, and it's to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Think about it. If you just follow a single law and did business with our own people, our condition would change from there, just a bit from there. You understand? Stop giving our money into these other nations and letting them go take care of their own people. You understand? Let them buy from them and let us buy from us. You understand? If I'm not mistaken, I saw on CNN a few years back, and it said 70% of America's economy is held down by the consumer. And who is the consumer? We are the consumer, because we are the only ones who buy, but don't sell. You understand? And that's a curse. You understand? That's a curse in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. We won't be doing business. We don't do any kind of international business. We don't do any kind of business with any other nations because we are cursed, because we refuse to follow the Most High. You understand? You can drop that. You can drop that. You understand? So let's read this March on Washington. Arguably one of the most famous events of the civil rights movement took place on August 28, 1963, the March on Washington. You understand? And just like we said before, the March on Washington came up with nothing because it didn't get us equal pay, because as you can see, even in 2022, equal pay is still a problem amongst our people versus our oppressor. And this will never be, we will never get equal pay as long as we have to go to our oppressor's table for scraps. You understand? There will never be equal pay. What person feeds the guest, feeds a visitor before he feeds their own children? You understand? That just doesn't happen. You're going to make sure your children eat, and then whoever comes after that, then they can eat. You understand? But this is how our oppressor thinks. So we got to start understanding that his intentions are not good for us. You understand? It was organized and attended by civil rights leaders such as A. Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin, and Martin Luther King. Think about this. In that civil rights movement, from John F. Kennedy gave them $2.5 million to take over that civil rights movement. $2.5 million to split between the big six. You understand? So if I'm not mistaken, that was like what? What's that, between six people? What's that, $250,000? Am I right?
Say again now.
$250,000 a piece.
For who?
That civil rights movement. They got $1.5 million. $1.5 million.
Not sure.
Between six. That's like $250,000, something like that.
I literally said.
You understand? So more than 200,000. Listen, they got paid that to steer that civil rights movement in the opposite direction. And it worked. And it worked so beautifully that we celebrating the civil rights movement today and have nothing to show for it. Every nation comes over here and benefits from the civil rights movement except for us. And it's just like the Civil War. We participated in the Civil War. We fought harder in the Civil War, but every other nation comes over and benefits from that Civil War. What other nation of people besides the oppressor fought in the Civil War? No other nation of people. It's just us. You understand? And we have to understand that everything that we fight for under our oppressor, we will never be able to benefit from. Think about it. Brothers and sisters are happy because the oppressor gave us Juneteenth. They gave us a Juneteenth that everybody benefits from. But the Asians got an Asian hate law, right? 6 Asians got hurt and they got an Asian hate law. We've been getting killed and murdered by the oppressor since we've been here. We can't even get a civil rights bill passed not to murder our people. We still going to court fighting for people killing and shooting our brothers and sisters in the back, for murdering and hanging our brothers and sisters. They never paid for the hangings that they did all the way up until, the hanging a couple months ago, didn't they? They found the brother hanging a couple of months ago. So these things are still going on. And we still can't get a law to protect our people. We have to understand too that when you are asking for civil rights, you are letting people know that we are not true citizens of this country. You understand? Because if you are a true citizen of this country, you do not have to fight for civil rights. And we continually fighting for civil rights, not understanding that we're telling people that we are truly not citizens. And when you're truly not a citizen, laws don't apply to you. So because the laws don't apply to us, we need to come together. Zephaniah 2:1 says what? Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather yourselves together. Gather together, O nation not desired. We have to understand that we are a nation of people who are not desired by a particular enemy. Now, there are more beasts on the face of this earth, these other nations. But this particular enemy right here, this enemy has no good intentions for us. And we have to understand that We are not desired by him. You understand? That's the problem with our people today. We don't recognize the enemy, when he is right there in front of us. You understand? I want to grab a scripture. Let's grab 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
The book of 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
Listen, it says, wherefore, come out from among them, come out from these customs and culture, come out from trusting our enemies. We said that before. The scriptures tell us, trust not thine enemy. You understand? Come out from among them. Stop participating in the customs and cultures of America. Stop celebrating that Christmas. Stop celebrating that Thanksgiving. Stop celebrating that 4th of July is coming up. What's that, next week? Next week is the 4th of July. And watch how many brothers and sisters be out there participating. And watch how many brothers and sisters go down that day. You understand? Every time it seems that we go and we participate in our oppressors' customs and cultures and holidays, our brothers and sisters seem to end up dead. You understand? Or something seems to happen to us. You understand? We are not to participate in the customs and culture of our oppressor. It says, wherefore come out from among them. We got to come out from among them. We got to stop believing that we are on equal terms with them. We got to stop believing that they love us as much as they love their own, because they don't. Come out from among them. Stop trusting in them. And be ye separate. Separate ourselves from them. We have our holidays, let them have their holidays. We have our high holy days, let them have what they do. You understand? We need to take care of ours and let them take care of theirs. You understand? We got to be separate. You understand? Our brothers and sisters believe, a lot of our brothers and sisters believe that we can't, what am I trying to say? We can't police ourselves. We can police ourselves. We can police our own community. If you can run your own household, you can run your own community. You understand? It's nothing hard in that. We saw that growing up. You understand? I remember when parents could come out, a parent could come out on the porch and see you doing something wrong and tell you what to do and what not to do. You can't do that these days. You understand? Because we have lost our way. We have lost the love for our own people. You understand? An oppressor can come up to you and tell you anything, and we won't say a word. But as soon as another brother or sister comes up, then we want to fight and go all off. We got to stop that. We got to start showing love to our own people. Stop showing so much love to all of these other nations. You understand? Stop showing and giving your love to these other people who don't love us back. You understand? Love our own people. You understand? And we can start building our own people up. You understand? Now, it says, and touch not the unclean thing. You understand? Touch not the unclean thing, and he will receive us. You understand? Come up out of those customs and culture. You understand? Stop celebrating those birthdays. You understand? Stop trusting in our oppressor. You understand? All right, I want to drop that, and I want to go back to the history of the African Americans in the Civil War. Again, I want to start right here in the second paragraph. It says, these words spoken by Frederick Douglass moved many African Americans to enlist in the Union. And listen, he destroyed us too. You understand? Let's be real. Frederick Douglass got black people pumped up to go into the Civil War and be destroyed and come up out of the Civil War still being slaves.
He was a white man.
He was a white man. You understand? His father was white, right? Father was white. So we believe in that's an oppressor.
Okay.
Understand? He is an oppressor.
Okay.
We look up to Frederick Douglass, and we've been writing reports in Black History Month from elementary school through junior high through high school, and put Frederick Douglass up on a pedestal when he turned out to be an oppressor anyway.
Okay.
A deceitful oppressor. You understand? Boy, we got something to say?
No.
Oh, okay. Listen, it says these words spoken by Frederick Douglass moved many African Americans to enlist in the Union Army and fight for their freedom. President Abraham Lincoln's assurance of the Emancipation Proclamation, which was another deceitful thing. Emancipation Proclamation only means we only went from being private property, it turned us into being state property. So what they did was they so-called released you from being private property and then tied the 13th Amendment to that so they could take you back into slavery under being state property. That's where that phrase state property comes from. Now we're state property. We can't do anything without approval from the state. You understand? In 1863, the Civil War became a war to save the Union and to abolish slavery, which is a lie. The Civil War was only a war to keep the Union together. And remember this, Abraham Lincoln said it in a letter. He said he could care whether the, and I'm paraphrasing, whether the slaves be free or not. His only purpose was to keep the Union together. And that was his only purpose. If he could do it without freeing the slaves, he would. If he could do it and free the slaves, he would. But any purpose, he wanted to keep the Union together. You can't have two countries on the same continent. You understand? And that's why he wanted to keep everything together. It says approximately 180,000 African American comprising of 163 units served in the Union Army during the Civil War, and many more African Americans served in the Union Navy. Both free African Americans and runaway slaves joined the fight. You understand? That's incredible. And look at us. Look at us today. What did the Civil War, or what did civil rights get us today? They both running neck and neck. They both did nothing for our people. They only tied us into slavery even deeper. The civil rights movement tied us into slavery even deeper because it got us to trusting our oppressor all over again. Even before the civil rights movement, we knew who the enemy was. The civil rights movement got us to love our oppressor. And that got us even locked in under our oppressor even more. Listen, brothers came up cold and hungry. You understand? Through that Civil War. Just like today, we are cold and hungry. Our brothers and sisters are out in the streets starving. We got over 2 million brothers and sisters locked up in the prisons today. You understand? Because of civil rights. Because of the civil rights movement. Because of that Civil War. And then with the 13th Amendment. We are a destroyed people continually trusting in our oppressor. You understand? I want to grab a scripture again. Make sure it's the right one. Let's see. Let me get 1 Peter. Peter chapter 5, verse 8.
The book of 1 Peter 5 and chapter 8, verse 8. Salaki. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
It says be sober. You gotta be on point. You understand? We have to be on point. We have to watch. You understand? understand? It says to be sober. You understand? We have to be alert. And that's the problem with a lot of our people today. We are not alert. We are not on point. This is why people can run up on us and do what they want to do to us. This is the reason how our oppressor or the other nations can move into our neighborhoods and take everything out of our neighborhoods and leave us broken in despair. Because we are not sober, we are not on point, we are not watching. You understand? It says to be vigilant. We gotta be careful. We gotta watch out for the dangers that come across us. This is what it means to be vigilant. We gotta be mindful of the dangers that are around us. And that's the problem with our people too. We are not mindful when these people come into our neighborhoods, their intentions. You understand? When another nation of people move into your neighborhood, there is never good intentions. You understand? Their intentions are never good. You understand? Think about these nations of people who move into our neighborhood to sell goods to us. They never do anything to our neighborhoods but drink us dry. You understand? It says to be vigilant because your adversary, the devil, the deceiver, is always looking. You understand? What is he always looking? He is looking to devour us. It says, as a roaring lion walketh about. You understand? He is looking to destroy us. You understand? Seeking who he may devour. And that's why we got over 2 million brothers locked up in the prison system now. Because this is what our oppressor does. You understand? Having us join into their armies. Having us join into their political system. We are either Democrat or Republican. You understand? We are a destroyed people. You understand? We got to understand that this place is not our rest. This is not where we are supposed to be comfortable at. We are supposed to always be on point. We are supposed to always be sober. We are supposed to always be vigilant, looking around, taking notice of our surroundings, making sure no dangers are coming upon us. You understand? This is the destruction of our people right there, of not following the laws, statutes, and commandments, not understanding what the Most High has for us. You understand? We're always looking for something from our oppressor. We can't look to our oppressor for anything. You understand? We have to take care of our people. We have to be on point. You understand? We got to look towards ourselves. You understand? Instead of listening to our, preachers and pastors and all of these civil rights movement workers and LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter people. You understand? They don't know they don't know what to do with our people, and this is why we destroy today. I want to jump to another part. Failed promises of the civil rights movement. Look at this. All right. Listen to this, right? This says, in a series of 3 lectures last week, Pulitzer Prize winning historian Leon F. Lichtman took a sweep of the history of blacks in the American South throughout the 20th century. His talks explored the legacies of the Reconstruction of Jim Crow, the impact of World War II, and the promise of the Civil Rights Movement on Black Americans. Listen, how can an oppressor, or perhaps more accurately to Litwick, the failed promise of the Civil Rights Movement in the fight for power, the final of his Nathan Huggins lecture sponsored by W.E.B. Du Bois Institute. W.E.B. Du Bois didn't include black people either. For African Americans research, the Department of African American, let me go down. The Civil Rights Movement, from its uprising in the 1950s through the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1965 and the turmoil of the late 60s and the early 70s, has substantially impacted on the lives of the right citing dramatic changes at many of the South's most notable civil rights battlegrounds. In Selma, Alabama, for instance, when 600 civil rights activists marched in 1965, they were met with police brutality, tear gas, bullwhips, and clubs. Retracing the route of these earlier marches, 20 years later, 25,000 people led by Coretta Scott King and Jesse Jackson returned to Selma. Jackson received the keys to the city. Think about it, right? Receiving the keys to the city. What does that mean to be receive the keys to the city? We forgive you for what you did. You understand? And that's the problem with our people. We too forgiving. They give us the keys to the city, but they didn't give us no reparations, no what do they call it? Nothing to what am I trying to say? Nothing to make up for everything that they've taken from us. That's what I'm trying to say. You understand what I'm saying? And we always settle for trinkets. Just like I said about this Juneteenth thing. We always settle in for trinkets of Juneteenth, the holiday that everybody gets to celebrate. And it's not even a federal holiday where everybody gets all the pay. You still got to go to work on Juneteenth. You understand what I'm saying? We settle for that when Asians are getting reparations for the things that happened to them. When the so-called Jewish man is getting reparations for the things that happened to him. Everybody's getting reparations and everybody's getting paid off of their disparities except for us. We are the only people who accept, what do they call it? What do they call it?
What?
When you accept something that really don't mean nothing. It's like just for show. Just for show, something for show. Juneteenth is a thing just for show. You understand? The civil rights movement didn't get us anywhere. It was just for show. You know how you accept something.
What, the fake out?
Yeah, it's the fake out, right? It's
Catch-22.
It's like they're giving you something, but it really is just a symbolization. It's just a symbol. You understand what I'm saying? A Juneteenth. Think about it, right? Who benefits off of Juneteenth? Our oppressor. Think about at all of these Juneteenth affairs, our oppressor had stalls set up selling our people stuff. So nobody benefit. Our people never benefit off the things that are given to us. Everybody else always does. When you go to that Juneteenth festival, how many oppressors out there, or how many Asians did you see out there selling stuff? You understand? We never benefit off of that type of stuff. And that's the problem with our people. We always accepting things that really don't mean anything to our people. You understand? We are always destroyed, and people take us as a spoil. You understand? Everybody benefits off of us. You understand? Matter of fact, did we go to Jeremiah 4? Yeah, go to Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30.
Book of Jeremiah. Come on. The book of...
No, drop that. No, drop that. Go to, I got mixed up. Like it, sir, my bad.
You good? Take your time.
Trying to make sure I get that right. Okay, Proverbs 14 and 12.
Okay. The book of Proverbs, verse 14 and verse 12. Chapter 14 and verse 12, Salaki. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
That's what's the problem with our people right there. It's end of the day, it always destroys us. You understand? Just like we said with the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement seemed right in the beginning, but it destroyed us in the end. Every nation of people comes over into our nation, Slovakia, comes over into this nation and benefits off of civil rights. We are the only people who never partake in the actual civil rights benefits. You understand? This is what we were talking about earlier. Just like you said, we got the Asians come over here and instantly 6 people get hurt and they got an Asian hate crime bill. Our people have been destroyed for over 400 years over here, and we still can't get the oppressor to stop killing us. You understand? We got all of our corner stores taken from us, and all the other nations come over here and benefit and get those corner stores. And now they are in our neighborhoods benefiting off of us. We are a spoil to all of these other nations. These other nations come over here just to leech and to feed off of us. It's going to be the Ukrainians next. The Ukrainians and those Afghans are next. You understand? Every nation of people that comes into America automatically takes a step over our people. Why do they automatically take a step over our people? Because we support every nation of people that come over here, but no nation of people support us. This is why the scripture says, wherefore come out from among them. Stop playing with these other nations. When I say stop playing with these other nations, stop helping them. Stop buying from them. You understand? Stop supporting those people in our neighborhoods. You understand? Let them support their own people. You understand? And we can build our own stores and we start supporting our own people. But we got the love for all of these other nations. America has us brainwashed into believing that this is a great big melting pot and everybody can come together and be one hunky-dory family. You understand? We can't do that. That's not the way it works. That's not the way the Most High created it. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. It said, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You understand? And we are the only ones that are suffering. We are the only ones that are out here dying. Every nation is growing and benefiting off of us, and we are the only nation that does not benefit off of us. We are the only nation that are continually being destroyed. Because we love every nation. We think every nation is equal. Everybody is equal. Scripture does not say that. The scripture tells us that, like I said before, the Most High created the earth for our sake. All of the nations only benefit from what we do. You understand? All of the nations feed off of what we do. We got to start feeding off of ourselves and let those other nations feed off of themselves. You understand? That's when they're going to back up. That's when they're going to start understanding and recognizing who the true power on the earth is. The true power is the Most High. You understand? All right. And that's because of poor leadership. Because we got such poor leadership, our leaders allow these other nations to come straight into our neighborhoods and to benefit. You understand? Our leadership, just like the scripture said, our leadership languish. Our leadership is destroyed. Our leadership is broken. You understand? The only place that there is true leadership is right here in this ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is where true leadership is under command and general honor. That's what true leadership is. You understand? And with that, let me grab Isaiah chapter 56. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. Verse 10.
The book of Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
He says his watchmen are blind. You understand? Our leadership is blind. They don't see the dangers that are coming. They don't see the dangers that are coming. They don't give us a warning of the impending dangers that are coming upon us. You understand? Our watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. Are all dumb dogs. You understand why they call them a dumb dog? Because an alert dog alerts of the dangers that are coming. You understand? Our leadership does not alert us of the pending dangers. You understand? This is why we are destroyed. You understand? Of these other nations coming into our neighborhoods and destroying us. Raping, robbing, and pillaging our people. You understand? It says they cannot bark. You understand? Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. They like the way that everything is going. They are okay with it because they are benefiting. You understand? They are benefiting. They are getting those few pieces of silver to sell out their people or to sell us out. You understand? They are the dumb dogs. That's our leadership. You understand? This is the reason why we can't listen to these preachers and these pastors. You understand? These political leaders that come into these churches every year to get votes and to get votes so they can continually be in positions of power and continually let us be destroyed. You understand? Go ahead.
Good. Oh, so like 11, they are greedy those so like in verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain from his quarter.
You understand? It says, yeah, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. You understand? And they continually sell us out. They can never have enough. They are greedy. You understand? They have no love for their own people. You understand? This is our leadership. This is what happens. This is why that Christian church is one of the richest entities on the face of this earth. And all of them are in our neighborhoods, destroying our people in these ghettos. And we are the poorest people on the face of the earth. We got the richest institutions in our neighborhoods, but are the poorest people on the face of this earth. These churches are supposed to be taking care of our neighborhoods, but continually they drain us dry. You understand? They take every penny from our pockets. After our oppressor cleans us out, then they come along and clean whatever else is up. You understand? It says, yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They don't understand these scriptures. They don't understand what the Most High has in store for our people. They can't tell you what these scriptures mean. The only place you can come and get a meaning from these scriptures is in the ISUPK. That's it. Under Commanding General Yohana. You understand? They cannot understand. They all look to their own way. Listen, they have their own intentions in mind. They know what they don't have the intentions of the people. They have their own. They need jet planes. They need Rolls Royces. They need big mansions and things like that. You understand? They need money beyond their wildest dreams so they can live out their own dreams. The dreams of the people, they could care less about the dreams of the people. They could care less of how the other people are living. You understand? As long as they got that Rolls Royce and that big house, they are okay with everything that's going on. They keep their mouths shut. You understand? They all look to their own ways, everyone for his own gain, for his own quarter. That's all. That's it in a nutshell. They look to their own gain. You understand? They ain't trying to, they ain't looking out for anybody else. You understand? That's it. You know? Let's see. Let's go to Deuteronomy. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. It's the hottest hell it is.
In Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna go from 1 through 6.
Okay.
And see, listen, this script, these scriptures right here are telling us how we should be living. You understand what I'm saying? These are the scriptures right here that tell us how we should be living. And if we come back, everything could be great for us. You understand what I'm saying? Most High has instructions for us. You understand? And one thing we have to understand is that these scriptures were not made for any other nation of people. So when you go into a church of the oppressor and he's trying to break scripture down, he can't break scripture down. Either he has no understanding of this book. You understand? He has no understanding of these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? He thinks literally. You understand? He doesn't understand these scriptures and the breakdown of these scriptures. You can go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28.
1 through 6.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
You heard that? He said he will set us above all nations on the earth. Listen, it says, and it shall come to pass that this is going to happen. It shall come to pass, this is going to happen. If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, you will listen and understand and be diligent about this word. You understand? Of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments. It doesn't say do some of his commandments, but it says to do all his commandments, to observe and to do all of his commandments, which I command thee this day, right now, this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high. He will set us on high above all nations on the face of this earth. And that was his intention from the beginning, that we would be running this planet, that every nation would come to us for counsel, that other nations will come to us to seek justice. You understand? That other nations would follow our lead, but instead, because we don't follow the lead of the Most High, because we don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, we follow in every other nation. This is how we fell into Islam. This is how we fall into Christianity. This is how we fall into Buddhism, atheism, and all of these other isms. You understand? Because we don't listen to the Most High. We don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
And it says, and all these blessings, listen, the Most High has blessings for us. It says, all of these blessings will come upon thee and overtake thee. We will be overwhelmed by blessings. You understand? We will be able to take care of our families and other families and other families' families. You understand? We wouldn't have a problem or none of the problems that we are having. You understand? If we would only hearken diligently unto the Lord thy God, all of these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee. If thou shalt just hearken unto the voice, if we just listen to the voice. How do we listen to the voice? Listen to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Come get some good understanding from the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Young. That's how you hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Come to the priests and prophets of the Most High, which is right here in these classes. You understand? You check these classes out online, Monday through Friday. You understand? From 7 to 9 p.m. You understand? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
It says, blessed shalt thou be in the city and in the field. No matter where we working at, no matter what we doing, we're going to be blessed in all things. You understand? Right now, we are not blessed. We got to work 2 and 3 jobs, whether it be wherever we at. Through the 4 corners of the earth, we gotta grind. We gotta scrape. You understand? We gotta go to our oppressor for everything. You understand? That's not a blessing at all. As a matter of fact, that's a living hell right there. And that's to prove to you that hell is on earth. When you have to go to your oppressor for everything that we need, we got to go to him for food. We got to go to him for housing. We got to go to him for clothing. We got to go to him for jobs and everything. Think about it. As quickly as we get the money that we get from our job, we got to give it right back to our oppressor. That's a living hell right there. That's not a blessing at all. But the Most High says, blessed shall thou be in the city and blessed shall thou be in the field. We can be blessed if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commanding and get some kind of understanding in these scriptures. And the only place that we can get some kind of understanding in these scriptures is in the ISUPK. This is where we got to come get the true breakdown, get the true meaning, the true understanding, because our pastors and preachers in these churches, they don't know the breakdown to these scriptures. They don't have a true understanding. Like the scripture said before, they are dumb dogs. You understand? They have no understanding. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Look, it says, blessed is the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy ground. Everything that we deal in, we're going to be blessed in. Whether it be our children or our work, everything that we do, anything that we do in the growing, in the dealing with our own fields and everything, we're going to be blessed in those things. You understand? So we got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We should be running this earth right now. Other nations should be coming to us for food and grain. Other nations should be coming to us for counsel. Other nations should be coming to us for understanding. But we go to other nations for all of that. We go to other nations for everything that the Most High says that the other nations should be coming to us for. When are we going to come back? When are we going to get some kind of understanding? When are we going to stop being the dumb dog? When are we going to look for true freedom in these scriptures? You understand? Like we said before, Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourself together, O nation not desired. We are a nation of people not desired. Why do we go for comfort to a nation that does not desire us? We should be confiding in the Most High for everything that we need. But instead, we ignore the Most High. We go to our oppressor and continually dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. You understand? Go ahead.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Keep going.
Blessed shall thou be when thou cometh in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goeth out.
And blessed shall thou be when I cometh in, and blessed shall thou be when I'm coming out. Hey, listen, anything we do, we're going to be blessed in. You understand what I'm saying? You can drop that. You can drop that. I'm going to go to stop. We also got to stop believing in our false prophets too. When we talk about these false prophets, we're talking about those brothers, those preachers, and those pastors that deceive us constantly year after year after year. You understand? Telling us lies. You understand? For their own benefit. You understand? This is where you truly get the law, statutes, and commandments from. ISUPK. We got to understand that we are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. So this Bible is about us. And everything that we need to know is right here in this book. You understand? If we come back to this book, we'll be a great people. You understand? We'll be a great people on top. You understand? Nobody likes to be a people on the bottom. You understand? We got to start coming to the understanding of the Most High, not living in somebody else's understanding. We got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And I want to go straight to Psalms 118, 8 to 9. You understand? Psalms chapter 118, verses 8 and 9. It says, it is better to trust the Lord than to put confidence in a man. You know what I mean? It's better to trust in the Most High than to put our confidence in someone, in just a man. You understand? And that's what we do when we listen to these preachers and these pastors and all these politicians and these people who have no good intentions for us. We're putting our confidence in nothing. You understand? Nothing that can really truly benefit us. We can't put our confidence in. You know? It says it is better to trust in the Lord than to put our confidence in princes. We putting our confidence in the people that are over us, these princes. You understand? Putting these presidents and thinking that they're going to make laws or pass laws and things like that that's going to benefit us. Nothing has benefited us up to this day. You understand? We have gotten nothing out of the civil rights movement. We have gotten nothing out of fighting in the Civil War. Anything that we do with alongside our oppressor has never benefited us. You understand? So we got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? And coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments can get us the edge that we need. The edge that we need is to be where the Most High wanted us originally, in the forefront. You understand? With the other nations falling under our feet. You understand? But instead, we falling under the feet of the other nations. You understand? That, you say we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? The truth is so-called black, Hispanic, and Native are the true Jews of the Bible, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, pass the class over to the priest officer for Juan Salah. Man, I'm ready. Powerful class, man. We always get that from this officer, man. And the thing is, while we're going through these adversities, man, we need to understand to stick with the good. You know, there is no reason for anybody to be out there protesting, any black man or woman to be out there protesting for the death of their babies.
knowing about eugenics, understanding about how Roe versus Wade came about because of the fear of black men raping white women, which was a lie.
Right.
You know, we can't be fooled by when the white man tell us that a goddamn abortion is not murder as long as it's done in a certain phase of development. And it's just a fetus, it's not an actual person. That's the same thing the Nazis did to the so-called white Jew in Germany. It's the same thing white folks did to black people in slavery. They said we were 3/4 of a person, and because we wasn't all the way human, it was okay to murder us and enslave us. You understand? This is the mark of the beast. When we talk about a baby can be murdered in a certain phase of its development, that's the mark of the beast. We carry his mark, the most subtle beast. We're carrying his mark as an American. It is as American as apple pie to murder and not be held accountable for.
Right.
That's how America was born. All men are created equal, knowing that black people were slaves at that time, meaning black people weren't human.
Right.
A fetus is not human. A fetus is not alive. Well, would it have been born if you did not murder it at a certain stage? Does something that is dead grow? A fetus grows. The Lord will visit his anger upon all of this. He sees all of this. There will be justice for every black baby that is destroyed. There will be justice for that. There will be accountability for all of it. All of it today, yesterday, and all of it to come. There will be justice. Security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street out of New York under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You will find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced Ma'asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. If you get a raise at work, give it to the men of the Lord. Give it to the people that are helping black people get off drugs and stop committing goddamn crimes. All right? Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give upcoming holy congregation. Remind Akim and Akwafian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. Let's give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat, thumb.
class dismissed.
You know why? on the side of the road like a sideshow.